What's up, Orcamaniacs, and welcome to a very special Sunday edition. This is episode number 21 of Dubl Drbl, entitled Orcas Have Heart. Why is this episode so special, you ask? It's because we did something very special for a bunch of special people yesterday all over the state of California, mainly Southern California, but it was very heartwarming, very humbling, and just awesome overall to be able to do what we did. We went and did the pillow drive for the homeless on behalf of Teach One, Reach One Foundation, on behalf of Orcas ABA, and on behalf of Orcas Media. It was amazing. So let's bring it to you. Let's let you know what's going on, and let's get you into our mindset, into our heart, and how we felt going into this awesome event. What's up? I'm Double R, Ricky Rodriguez. To my side, we got the coach, Coach Don Werwick. Over here to the other side, we got my boy G. We got my other G behind me, and George Ochola. And we even got raw talent, handsome life himself, Mr. Kenny Barnes has decided to join us. Welcome back, Kenny.
Hey.
All right, everybody's waking up. It's all good. All right, so let's just jump right into it, gentlemen. I mean, going into this thing, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what we were going to see. We didn't know what emotions were going to go through us. We didn't know how we were going to come out of this. I know Coach has done stuff like this before. I have done stuff like this before for my church. But you guys, I don't know if you have, and I would love to hear from you guys. I want to start with Kenny. Kenny actually has something he has to take care of after this because he's an awesome son and a good guy. So Kenny, I'm gonna throw it to you, bro. You were in our Oxnard squad yesterday. Give us your experience and how you were feeling and what it felt like when you saw that first person get that first pillow, man. Just let me hear how you were feeling, dude.
Oh man, it was something different for me. I mean, growing up as a little kid and uh, being through some of them problems that's out there, it's really tough seeing that. But man, seeing the first kid we got to give with the family right there to the left when we first walked in, it was really nice seeing him run up to get some pillows. Seeing a smile on his face, knowing he got some place to lay his head is really a blessing.
It was for me. It was humble. Me being a single father, I almost cried, bro. Like, and he was
Yeah,
so happy. The cool part was
man.
he was so happy. Like he has nothing, and he just came up. And if he could have hugged us, he probably would have. And he was scared at first. Remember, he was like, "Man, I was so
Yeah.
scared. I thought you were gonna get caught."
Yeah, he ran up. He
Yeah,
was,
but
yeah.
just the smile.
I'm just happy, man. Just
That
happy that we
smile,
was able
bro.
to be a part. Yeah.
Yeah, that smile, bro. It's just it was crazy. So for you guys who don't, for George and Coach, we started in a park. We found a lady at the park. We took care of her. Then we found another lady on the way to an encampment that we were looking for. This lady actually helped us find the encampment. It was a mission and a half trying to find, but it was well worth it. There was over 100 people in this encampment, and we were able to deliver we had like 20, a little under 20 pillows at the time to deliver. But like I said, our very first person, we knew it was going to be a good experience. Was that little kid with that ninja shirt. I'm never going to forget him. I don't know about you, but I'm never going to forget him.
Yeah. Oh man, not gonna forget that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was,
Were there any other encampment families situations that we endured that stood out to
yeah.
you?
Yeah, it was actually when you guys were talking to the lady, I got to talk to the guys to the left,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how they decorated their houses and how they're living and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that was really unique to me. Definitely something different to see and coming forth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was something that I will definitely be going back to go help some people, go do again.
Yeah, and dude, I want to say I've said it to you once. I'm gonna say it again. I know G and George and Coach are probably right there with me. I already respected you as a player. I respect you as a man, but my respect level shot up to like 1,000 yesterday, bro. You came all the way from Lancaster, California, which is like an hour and a
Mojave,
half away. Yeah,
Mojave.
Mojave Desert, y'all.
Oh man.
He made the
I'm
effort to be
here
there
now,
to
man.
change someone's life. He took the time. He was there. You're our superstar for the day, bro. Like honestly, when I saw you, when I heard you were gonna show up, I was like, holy ish, this guy's awesome. Like, I have a mad respect for you, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Anything for the homeless, I'm here for anything. I told you, I just to even be a part of Orcas and to have Don as a head coach and be a part of that and bring me to his team and to help out the homeless and stuff like that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you're hearing him talking about the experiences he went through, talking about he knew homeless, he knew poor, and then he comes an hour and a half away to make sure that someone gets a smile on their face, someone gets to feel better just for those couple minutes. You know, someone's going to be able to rest their head, not on a rock, but on a pillow with a message to help them mend that broken heart. How does that make you feel as a coach and as like a mentor?
Well, one, I'm really proud of Kenny. Kenny hasn't had the easiest life either. And, you know, we've all had our issues. And the fact that he drove that far is amazing. The fact that he was the only player that showed up, you know, on a voluntary basis. This wasn't mandatory. But when the organization sees people show up to voluntary, that goes a long way. That won't be forgotten for sure. You know, and for Kenny, I think this will be something that, although, you know, it could be called like a small thing, a one-day thing, of giving out pillows, but some stuff like this could change your life. Not just the people you're giving it to. You know, when you do stuff like this and give out to the homeless or do anything for anybody else, you get out way more than what you're giving. And, you know, yes, you might have changed that little kid's life. And you may have kept him off the streets in the future. And reoccurring, because we often mimic and reenact the situations that we're a part of. You know, often a lot of alcoholics are coming from parents that are alcoholics. You know, if you come from homelessness, you could end up being homeless yourself. And you may change that guy's life because now you got hope. You can see someone that's a pro basketball player giving out a pillow. And a smile for a day could go a long ways. But for Kenny and everybody that went and participated in the Teach One, Reach One, that your life's going to be changed because you have this to stand on. And then you know, fruit bear fruit. The more smiles you give out, the more you're going to get back. And, you know, like I posted today on the hate, Ricky, you know what I'm talking about. You know, there's way too much hate going on and so quick to hate. Whereas that's not how we change things. We change the world by love and giving out love, no matter who it is, no matter who it's for. They're a person and they should be respected, no matter their stature, no matter anything like that. So long story short, you know, I'm really proud of Kenny. And I'm proud of all you guys, actually. You know, Ferran drove all the way from Fontana. Yeah, yes, he's the owner, but he didn't have to do it. You know, none of you guys had to do it, and yeah, you did. And I commend all you guys. I'll definitely be there at the next one. I had some other stuff I had to do, but yeah, you guys are definitely lifted up a lot. You know, they're gonna remember you guys, and you guys don't forget that.
Yeah, I hope so. Kenny, after hearing Coach say something like that, how does it make you feel, dude?
Man, I'm just happy to be a part of the guy, know the guy, and happy that he's in my corner to help me with anything I need. That's all that matters to me.
Mm-hmm. Kenny, I know you got a jet in a little bit. I got one more question. I'm gonna let the boys give you one or a couple. What was your most emotional moment yesterday overall?
I'm gonna go with the kid. The kid. I also got to talk to the guys to the left of the older lady that was cooking the chicken that you guys are talking to. He was really desperate to make sure that his nephew, he was not there, I guess, but he was really desperate to make sure he got a pillow or two, and me giving him that pillow and him walking into his nephew's crib while he wasn't there to make sure now his nephew gets to come back home and see a surprise pillow there and lay his head down, which is really nice to know.
Awesome.
So yeah.
G, you're a dad. Hearing something like that, how does that make you feel? And then go ahead and do your questions.
Oh yeah, man! Just hearing that, it's great that we have someone like Kenny to be a part of the team and show support to the community, and just knowing he has a great heart. And it was just great having him come all the way out from where he came from, man, and doing all this just for the homeless, man. With that being said, Kenny, I wanted to ask you, after it was all said and done, going home on that long drive, how did you feel, man?
Oh man, besides all that traffic going back, it was good, man. I enjoyed it. I got to think about a little bit of things, and I was really hoping that I could come down. If I didn't have to pick my girl from work, I was definitely would have came down to LA with you guys and finished out with you guys, because I had nothing to do, and I had that was never a problem, me helping the homeless. So yeah.
We definitely appreciate you coming at least to Oxnard with us, man. We definitely appreciated that.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
It was absolutely awesome. George, do you have anything you want to ask Kenny? Or
Well, actually, not a question, but I actually have a comment. Kenny, first of all, nice seeing you again for the second time, even though I didn't see you yesterday because I was out in LA.
Nice seeing you too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think for you driving all the way from where you're at to the actual event yesterday shows how much character you have and how much trust that we could build on you, because you didn't have like Ricky said, you didn't have to drive all the way over here, or whatever Don said, you didn't have to drive all the way over here to do what you did yesterday. Like, you could have stayed home, but the fact that you wanted to make a difference and driving all the way over there and driving all the way back shows how much character, how much of a great character you have, and how much you got raised as a kid. Just think about others before yourself. And I think for I could speak for everyone that that every the stuff that you did really goes a long way, and people are going to be much appreciated with it. So I commend you on what you did yesterday, because not a lot of people would do that.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, man. Me being a former player of this team, anything I could do to help, anything I could do to help, man, I'm here for. Anything I could do to better and make this team better, I'm here for. So
yeah, I know you got a jet in a few minutes, but we talked about it. We went to Blaze Pizza, our former sponsor, formal sponsor, Blaze Pizza in Oxnard. We talked about potential signings they could do there, or maybe coloring with the kids, or jersey giveaways, stuff like that. How does it feel knowing that stuff is coming and that you can affect so many lives?
Oh man, just seeing that I can be a part of the young kids' life, and older people get to notice me, and it'll also help build fans and stuff to come out and watch us and stuff. So yeah, and like I said before, anything I could do to help and be a part of this team, I'm here for 100%. So yeah.
Absolutely. Does anybody else have anything else for Kenny before we let him bounce?
That was it.
Ready? We're good?
That was it.
We love you,
Have a
Kenny.
blessed one, man.
Go take
Love
care
you
of
too.
your moms, all right, man? We love you.
Yeah,
Peace
definitely. Peace out.
All right. So while Kenny goes to take care of his moms, but prayers for your mom. Let's go to you real quick. What experience for you? You've been through a lot as well. You went through the hood. You went through gang issues. You've been through things in your life, and then to go and see this and that little boy and things like that. Did you have flashbacks? Did you have memories going through your head? Was your heart racing? How did you feel going into the event, during the event, and after the event?
Well, first of all, for me, it just overall, it really did hit me. Going into it, I did not know what to expect, but I definitely, once we arrived to the encampment and seeing that little kid there running up to us, and just having that big smile on his face, it definitely hit me, because that could have been my kid, or that could be your kid, or that just putting yourself in that situation, it really hit, it could really hit your heart. And I didn't want to let my tears fall, man, but I definitely shed a tear for that kid, and I did pray for him, because as a father, you only want the best for your kids, and not only that, you want the best for other kids, and yeah, it really opened my eyes, and it was an experience that I will never forget. I never done anything like this before, so going into that, it was something great that we were able to give back, and not only for the city of Oxnard, but just to show the support that we're the new team in town, and we want to be here and not ask for anything, but we want to give
Mm-hmm.
we want to give back to the community, you know. So I think on our part, we did a great job, and I'm looking forward to keep on giving back to the community for the future, man. It's gonna be great.
I noticed I was your rideshare buddy. I noticed that you were a little nervous at first, and then you got more comfortable as we went along. Is there any particular reason for that?
Yeah, I mean, just being with you guys made it more easier for me to just open up and be like, you know what, we're here, you know, we're giving back, you know, and you guys made it easier to do that. You know, I believe if it was just me, man, I would have let my emotions drain me out just because of just like I said, just approaching that kid, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an emotional guy when it comes to kids. Now that I'm a father, you know, so
Yeah.
so it was a great experience, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm like I said, I'm just can't wait till we do something else for the community, man.
I got 2 more questions for you, and then I'll give it to the boys.
All right.
My one question is: we did Oxnard, we did a park, we did an encampment, and then we went to Santa Monica, where there's a little more money, but it's still kind of pretty ghetto over there. But
Yeah.
the people we gave to at Santa Monica were a lot younger. You know, I noticed we did have a few older people, and it was at night. Did you have different emotions giving away the pillows at night in Santa Monica than what you had at the encampment in Oxnard?
Oh yeah, well, definitely. I mean, I believe if it was the other way around, I'd be more afraid. Just
Oh,
being
the
in the camp.
encampment, yeah. It's all
But
right. Oh, I got Ron jumping in. Yeah, it's not a big deal. And then
go ahead.
my last question. I kind of tested you last night. You guys
You did?
don't know I drove G's truck home because his eyes were like bulging out of his head because people are cray drivers out in Oxnard. So, but we got back to Santa Monica. I drove the truck back to Santa Monica. We got to my city. We had 5 pillows left. I gave one away to a normal homeless person that's usually by our McDonald's. We got him. But then we went into a shopping center down the street from my house, and G thought I was going to go give it to him because I knew the guy. I said, no, G, you're going to go give it to him, and you're going to go by yourself. And this was at night, and he didn't even bat an eye, you guys. He grabbed the pillow. He took his time. Not only did he walk to this man, he looked this man in the eye. This guy was in a wheelchair, so he got down to he could see him in the eye. He gave him the pillow respectfully, and he even talked to him for a couple minutes. So you know what, G, I am so damn proud of you when you did that. You could have just handed it to him and walked away, but you didn't. You gave him the time. You gave him the respect that he earned. He's a homeless veteran, so I've told you. So just going above and beyond, brother. I'm so damn proud of you.
Thank you, Ricky. And just to say something about that real quick is what we had on those pillows, those words of encouragement. I didn't only want to just give the pillows out to the homeless. I wanted to live by that, live by those words and encourage those people. You know what I mean? I wanted to talk to them and encourage them. So when last night when you ended up testing me, you know, and I ended up talking to that homeless, I wanted to hear a little bit about him, and not only that, just give him words of encouragement and see if it gets better for him, you know. Hopefully you don't get to see him there no more, Ricky, you know, because I know that's a local shopping center.
Yeah.
And I just hope at the end of the day, you know, we made a difference overall as a team, and I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah. So George, after hearing what G went through, how his emotions went, and the fact that I tested him, do you have any comments or questions for him?
Yeah, so so when you first got tested, like I know you're like a bit skeptical because you're not used to like being in that type of position where you have to go to a man, give him a pillow, but then like, you know, you just went over there and just talked to him. Like, you know, that's not an easy thing to do, like talking to a homeless person, because like usually when you're around homeless people, they don't want to be bothered, or they're just mad, they're just really, really depressed. But the fact that you did that, especially at night, showed like a lot of encourage out of you, seeing like who the person you really are. So my question is, how did it feel? How did you feel after that, knowing that, you know, this person was homeless, this person been through a lot? Like, how did you feel in your heart, based on that moment?
To be honest, George, it breaks my heart. You know, it sucks that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's a veteran out there on the streets, homeless, you know, and it really does break my heart, because if I wish I could give back more than I can, then I would do it. But, you know, it is what it is. And for me to do what I did yesterday, it made me happy, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
like I mentioned earlier, I feel like we are making a difference, even if it's something small. You know, I feel like we're getting to the getting into their heads and trying to inspire them, you know, to keep going, you know, because even though they're living homeless doesn't mean your life is over. You know, you could
Mm-hmm.
keep pushing yourself to do better. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just take a day at a time and go from there. And I feel like yesterday was a day that we as a group, not only just the team in Oxnard, but you guys as well,
Mm-hmm.
that we really we we really put our names out there, man. Not only as a team, but like just
As
we
individuals.
really did a job. We really did a good job, and I'm proud of all of you guys, man. So
Right back at you.
that's
Yeah.
all I gotta say, man.
Ron, I know you just logged in. We just got them talking about G and the fact that he came out of his shell. What? Anyway, G, I kind of tested him. We went back to Norwalk when he was dropping him off. He's a little nervous at night. He doesn't like to give things away at night. Santa Monica was all at night. He did a good job. And then at Norwalk, I had him give a pillow to I knew was a homeless veteran. He's a regular. And G didn't even bat an eye, dude. He went straight up to him. He talked to him for a couple minutes, handed the pillow, gave him eye contact. You being a veteran, hearing that G took that extra couple minutes, how does that make you feel as an owner, as a veteran? And then after you're done talking about him, we'll jump into your experience in Oxnard. You're muted.
It takes courage. It takes the individual courage to get up and want to go out and even talk to strangers. So as a veteran, I mean, there's already a disconnection between civilians and veterans in the conversation in the world. So to have someone come up to a veteran and contribute something like a pillow or whatever, a conversation even, there's value, because again, we have to look at these labels that we do with people, and that veteran is a person. That homeless person, that homeless that we say, it is a person first. And so the labels that we put on people, once you get past that label, you get to see that, oh shoot, just because you're labeled as a homeless by society, that's actually a human being. And that's the connection that you guys get to experience that you may not get on a normal basis. And so for me, that's what life is about, man. It's that human connection.
Absolutely. So Farhan, now that we're done, do you have a question for G, or something maybe you saw about G yesterday as an owner, as a friend, as a former veteran?
No, man. Like I said, the stuff that we did yesterday is not new to me. And again, like I said, it takes courage. So I watch again. I have this military mindset, so I watched and I let you guys be who you are naturally, and like I said, you guys performed, and that's all that matters. Like you can't go into an event like it's gonna look a certain way. Things evolve as the day happened, and we had a plan to do one thing, but you guys stood up and you guys took control of the map, and you guys that things like that. So I mean, like I said, that's what it's about. And I think the courage you got to look at, you guys got to give yourself acknowledgement around the courage it takes to even do that. So that's pretty much what I got.
It was a lot of fun, man. It was heart opening, eye opening, heartwarming. It was a lot of fun. What about you, Karan? What experiences, what emotions did you go through yesterday, starting from the park all the way to the encampment?
You know, this whole planning process to do this with James when he brought the idea to me, you know, I had my resignations, I had my reserves, things like that, but I also had to remember, again, we planned stuff, and the idea was have 8 players from the team come out and do their thing, and it sound good on paper, but what actually happened was even what was supposed to happen. So for me, you know, James was like, oh, you know, we want to give it to, you know, people on the streets and not the shelters. And so I had dealt with all that in my own space. And why the first person that we gave a pillow to was a lady sleeping on the bench. And guess what she was laying on? A plastic bag with her stuff in it. And right there, when I gave her that pillow, I was speechless. And it was just that I thought about what James said. And she was the example of what we were out to do yesterday, with her laying on that bench in that park on a plastic bag with stuff in it. And she was surprised, like, what are you doing? Like, we're just giving out pillows. Like, and so that, from that moment on, I was like, all right, this is what it's supposed to look like. So we did what we were supposed to do. We looked for people. We found the camp. Shouts out to my Sergeant of Arms, Chill, from the Disabled Veteran. I'm the president of that MC, and I brought him out there. He wanted to wear our cuts, so he escorted me. I'm the president, so he's my escort. So I just embodied all of my work that I do for the community. Brought him along, and he asked someone about, you know, a camp, and the guy pointed us in the right direction, and then you guys saw what happened after that. So like I said, when you plan things in life, you know, it might look good on paper, but it's not gonna, however it happens, it happens. And I was blessed to be able to experience that. I've done homeless stuff with vet hunters over the last few years, and you get reminded of what people are dealing with outside of your space. And then like the sheriff said, some people want to be out there, like that's their choice to be out there. So who are we to tell somebody that they're wrong for living in that kind of environment, right? So we all have a different mindset. We all end up where we are for different reasons. And so the best thing that we could do is provide a service and that human connection. And we did that yesterday for the city of Oxnard. So like I said, in my mind, it's supposed to go one way, and then how it actually turned out was what's supposed to happen. So I'm very grateful, and thanks for James for creating that project with us. And like I said, I know it's not the only time that we're going to do that, so that's probably going to be something that we're going to take on as an organization, even to give back to the community, especially that homeless population. And we ran into a veteran Marine out there in the camp that we saw, and when we walked up, Chill and we saw the flag was upside down. And when you see a flag that's upside down, that's a statement of distress.
Yeah.
So when we saw that and we looked at each other, and he's like, look at the flag. I'm like, yeah, it's upside down. And we're like, distress. And so when we walked over there, we went straight for that flag. And sure enough, there was a Vietnam veteran Marine there who was dealing with some situations right in that camp. And so, yeah, it's a reality check. And if you watch this and you haven't done an event like that or contributed that way, it is a totally different perspective in what life looks like in your world and versus what's outside in the real community. So it was really good.
Yeah.
Hey, Ferran, I wanted to ask a quick question. So, how did you feel for giving back to the community of Oxnard, but for future community work? What do you have anything in mind so far? Like, now that we've done some work there, do you have anything in mind for future stuff that you want to do?
I mean, you know, for me, the community part is always important. I think that, like I said, adopting James's pillow drive is something that we're going to definitely take on. And he's my general manager. So, I I mean, that's definitely a project. And with homeless, when you're dealing with homeless population, you know, a lot of times the number one items are socks, toiletries, things like that. So I've already, when we put this mission together, I've already connected with other organizations that do, that are going to start passing out blankets because wintertime is about to happen. So we're going to partner with some other organizations that also contribute the items that we didn't take, so we can take our pillows while they'll bring blankets and socks and toiletries for this winter, jackets. So yeah, I mean, that community of work, I said I've embodied that for years now. And it's just now that, you know, for those that want to participate, that is another thing that we could take on as an organization to contribute to the city of.
That's great news, Ron.
Yeah, and also by this conversation, I was introduced to another organization that actually sells pillows, and they do, if you buy a pillow, they donate a pillow.
Oh, cool.
So they were able to donate about 100 pillows to James through their, they got the approval from the dad who owns the company. And so just like that, here we are with an organization that sells pillows and donates pillows. I mean, the alignment is right there, but you have to open up your mouth to find out, you know, who you connect with in life. And so there's a business that will help us donate pillows on these next rounds. So,
that's,
I mean,
great.
again, that's what it's about.
No, it's funny you say that because I was literally talking to one of the representatives from the other organization, the one that was with Art, and I think it's called like Love Your Neighbor, I believe it was. She
Yeah, it
was
was
talking about
like
that.
Love Thy Neighbor.
Yeah, Love Thy Neighbor. And beanies and socks and sweaters and stuff. We were thinking about that too. I have one question for Farhan, and then maybe we can shoot over to George and get the LA perspective of things. Farhan, you're a father of 2 women, and you're also a grandfather. When we
Got 3.
3, I apologize, 3. When you saw that little 7, 8-year-old boy run out to us, what emotions went through you?
Oh man, you know, again, that's not my first time seeing that. It's like I said, the best I could tell you is a reality check. Like, and I know we say conversations like you could always look in your life and see that somebody else is worse off than you. I don't like to look at it that way. I like to look at it more of a sense of you get a reality check of what's really going on in life. So to see that little guy walk up to us and he's like, "Oh, you scared me," and it was like, "Yeah, you know, we scared you, but we're here to support you." And so, like I said, I don't think there's a word that I could give you that would describe it except for a reality check. And then when you walk away from that, you get to look in your own life and put a perspective and kind of looking and like it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
And again, not to say it's bad for them, because again, here I am, I'm willing to sell my house and go live in a motorhome in a trailer because I want that freedom to live like that. So it's like, there is no wrong way to live your life. I think that, yes, some people are there because of, you know, whatever happened in their life. But if we can contribute that to that, like that young child, I mean, the sheriff's told us there was a family of 4 there and they had little kids. And so just to be able to give them those pillows, I mean, like I said, there's no words except for whatever you look in your life and make it mean. And definitely a reality check. And so my daughters know that they're blessed. You know, we've been taken care of, you know, financially, government wise. I mean, I gave my life for this military and they're taking care of me. So, you know, my struggles are different than homelessness struggles. So I think if you just look in your life and just see where you are, and again, when you realize all that stuff you have in your house, in your room, is just stuff. Like, we hold on to stuff. It is like you could downsize and give a lot of that stuff away. So there's no wrong way to live your life. There's no wrong way to have a lot of stuff. I think is what it means to you. And a lot of people live that life for free. They're you know, it's not always a negative conversation from them to us.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say that you didn't bring up was the camera. We used to go to Skid Row, and the biggest thing I wanted to make sure that, and I talked to James about, was making sure that the respect of those people.
Yeah.
Because I've been down in those camps and stuff like that, and when they see cell phone cameras and you know, it takes away from the authenticity of why we're there. And so I appreciate you guys for capturing what you captured and allowing us to share that with the community that we were out there, but also the respect of those people who are in those environments, because they're there by whatever choice that they have, and we're not there to expose them or take credit for what we did. And so people know when you're in your right heart, if you're doing it for likes or for credit, or you're doing it for genuine contribution. And I think we proved yesterday that it was definitely a genuine contribution in Oxnard. So
absolutely. You say your word for you is reality check. For me, it would be humble. G, what would your word be?
Man, like I'm speechless, man. Just because I don't have any words to say, man. It was after that day, I was just speechless. You know, I just felt like we did a great job overall as a team, and to be honest, I just really want to hear how George's experience was.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that right now. Just a second. Does anybody have any other questions, either George or Coach, for any one of the Oxnard squad here before we jump into George and his experience?
Yeah, I have just a comment and then a question for Ron. But with GA, you said you're uncomfortable almost, and something just because you haven't done it before, talking to him. I just, my prayer for you is just that you use this going forward in all aspects. We should not fear. There's no fear. There's just uncomfortably, and if you're led to do something, you do it. And handing out pillows is great, but that conversation you had probably meant more to that person than the pillow, to be honest. Because often the homeless is looked down upon. They did something wrong, that's why they're there. They're not mentally, there. They're below us. That's what the world sees and what the world says, but they're not. They're human beings. Just like, a lot of them are not, some choose to be out there. Some made a bad choice, bad decisions. And some, they couldn't control things. Some didn't have a choice. They were forced out there. And, the conversation probably meant way more than that pillow. So just encourage you going forward, GA. That's amazing. Faran, a question. I told you my brother's working with the homeless, with the military, and finding funding for them, not just housing, but also medical. And as a vet and someone that served the country 24 years, and I know it's nothing new to you, but every time you see a vet as a homeless, any emotions that come from it come to you, and how do you feel about that, and how this country sometimes allows that to happen?
Man, you know what? I think every time now I'm emotional. Now it when you look back at that, Coach, it's you can only imagine what it's like for that person. And so when you can use your imagination and experience what that person is experiencing, it's heart-wrenching, man. I don't want to say it's sad, but there's a level of humbleness. There's a level of connection that's like when we talked to the Marine and I text my guy, I was like, he's like, why is he out there if he's got benefits? And then I'm like, you know what? Like, I can't answer that. It's just a sadness, and you want to fix things, and you want to, but I think that initial moment is like, it's like a tear. It's like, why are you here? Like, you have all these benefits allotted to you, and you're still, you're not taking advantage of it. And so it's I guess it's sad. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Is there's a moment of sadness because there's things out there to help our veterans, and a lot of us don't take advantage of it. A lot of us are mad with the military. A lot of us walked away with upset and pride with the military, afraid of having the government in your business. There's so many things that connect to that conversation, but the initial one is emotion. It was sad, and I feel the tears now of just the sadness that I feel when I see that come over, especially when it's a veteran who's 1% or 2% of us serving the military out of society, 1 to 2%, and this is what it looks like sometimes. So it's sad. It's a sad experience.
Yeah, and also just because, you know, often they end up homeless because of PTSD and other situations, and yet they fought for this country. And, you know, just because they have these issues, you know, and maybe they didn't get the opportunity to address it, or didn't get the right, talk to the right people, or get the right help. Now they're, because they're an outcast because they can't control their emotions or can't control their own thoughts.
Right.
The mental aspect is even key. And, you know, most homeless are homeless because of something mental that they can't overcome.
Yep.
You know, some are druggies, but that's a mental case too. You know, they had to use drugs. You know, one of our players was homeless recently, you know, and he's a vet. And, you know, that breaks my heart. You know, people
Exactly.
that are good people that just haven't had the right help or the right person to talk to. Those are the people that break my heart. And those are the people that I reach out to, you know, that, and I don't judge anyone. And those are the people, you guys did a great job. And, you know, that vet may be on his way to getting back, you know, just because you were able to talk to him and be there. So I appreciate your honesty and your service for one, but I've already thanked you for that. But just constantly education and every time you talk to the veterans, it's not like you're done with, you're using what they did for you and what you've gotten out of it and giving back. So you're still in the military, even though you're not.
Yeah, it was still serving. And I guess the last thing I want to say again is whoever watches this conversation is, don't forget that they're people first, and don't let that label of homeless or veteran or whatever you label people you see on the streets. Don't forget that there's parents connected to that person. There's probably siblings. There's probably cousins, and that human connection, like they were saying, just having a conversation sometimes with the person like that is enough to give them some hope and some insight. So
absolutely,
just make sure how we talk about people is very important.
Yeah, and I couldn't have said it any better, Faran. The thing about homeless as well, sadly, it's everywhere. We went to Oxnard, we went to Santa Monica. George, you had a completely, probably same experience as us and a completely different experience as us. Tell us, first off, how you felt going into it, where you went, and what went on after that.
Okay, how I felt going into it was a bit nerve-wracking at the beginning, only because it was like I had to go to Skid Row, so that's where we started from. And you know where Skid Row is, like there's like a lot of homeless people. There's like a bunch of tents, a bunch of like clothes everywhere. So, and I think like looking at that, like once I got there, like it just brought me back because I used to do something kind of similar to what we did yesterday, like with another group that was with, like I was with like a few other college buddies. So what we did was we partnered up together. We sang songs to the homeless, and then what we did was like we brought them food, brought them drinks, because knowing those homeless people, they're just dying for hunger, and they just want to like just trying to like Ferran said, like they're humans first. Like we shouldn't be judging them in any type of way, because any of us could be that person. So we can't forget that, because like not only because like at the end of the day, we're not perfect people. We have the same struggles, if not worse or less struggles, that we have throughout our lifetime. But yeah, going into yesterday, so we were at Skid Row. I was taking a bunch of pictures. Me and like this other person were taking pictures, and I was taking some videos as well. So looking at that was, I mean, yes, it was just sad. It was just, I wouldn't say it was sad, but I just feel where they're coming from, because like you put yourself in their shoes and you want help, but sometimes you don't know how to get help. So, I mean, yeah, we went there. There was a family with a single mom with her 3 kids that that was walking towards us, like, just almost crying. And they saw us, and we gave that family pillows. And that really like kind of warmed my heart, because those are just those innocent kids. I feel for them, because they want, like, their parents are trying the best as possible to have make their kids like a better, because yeah, it was I was just speechless, man.
I can hear the emotion in your voice, and I can see the emotion in G's eyes right now.
Yeah.
I We have people listening from all over the world right now, or we will once we post this.
Hmm.
Can you explain what Skid Row is? Just the visual of Skid Row, because a lot of people don't know what Skid Row is.
So Skid Row is in downtown LA. There's like a bunch of homeless people, a bunch of people that are just laying on the streets, laying on the sidewalk. There's people that have like tents, like a bunch of clothing everywhere. Um, just not a good environment for people to like walk to, because of you know everything that just goes on over there. And like I said before, that brings me back, because you wanna help those types of people, because of like the looks of it, they've been through a lot, like in a negative space. And it's just sad, because like for us as an organization, it's our job to help those people, because we know what it's like to be in, well, we have an idea on how it is to be in their shoes. And if we are in those types of positions, we want people to help us in any way possible. So yeah, it's just like, man,
No, I hear you.
it's just crazy, man. It's just
I hear
crazy.
you.
That's all I could say.
I also want to throw out that I'm really proud of you as well. You're also another one that dude, you came out of nowhere. Like when we started this show, we didn't even know you, and now look
Yeah.
at you. You've bloomed as a reporter. You've bloomed um, as an anchor, as a member of the organization, and now as someone in the community. You've opened things up, and I personally, as the host, I respect the living hell out of you, and I just want to say thank you. And I can hear in your voice that this really meant a lot to you. I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked G. What was the most emotional thing you went through yesterday?
Well, I mean, just when we were in just Skid Row, just that just seeing the kids, the kids and their single mom just walking towards us, just being sad, and then like just actually being happy that they're getting like the pillows that they wanted. And that's number one. Number two is me being with James and and one of the members of the volunteer group, just giving out pillows by a 7-Eleven in Santa Monica, seeing like one person like just laying down with like nothing to lay on, because it was just ground that they're laying on, and
We were
just
there.
giving him the pillow. Yeah. So I mean, like just stuff like that, like it just makes your heart crumble. And like that, like all the whole experience yesterday, like as a whole, just brought me back, only because like I've done some of those things, and then going back is like I know how it feels to like not get help, and like providing our services for them to like actually have somewhat of a better life or somewhat of a better future. So like just that alone, like just because we do it for one day doesn't mean like our work is complete, because we still have a lot more work to do if we want to be that be one of those positive people that could bring life to like other people. And it's not just poor people, it's just people that are actually struggling. So going to Farhan's point, like we just can't be judgmental, because at the end of the day, they're humans first, just like we are.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we can't forget.
Absolutely. I got one more thing and then I'll turn it over to GA. Um, what are you going to take away from this experience?
I mean, just being just being that positive light that could shine, that just being that positive life, that positive influence that could like give them hope to seeing like light at the end of the tunnel, because to them it's like it's all like their future is dark. But if we're there, just pray for them, because if we do pray for them, then that brings that positive aspect and that positive influence to them, for them to have somewhat of a chance for them to like live their life. And then like seeing that they didn't believe that they could have like a positive life until they saw us with the pillows, and like just like not only just giving them pillows, just like like what G said, like just sharing their faith, sharing a story, or you can even share a testimony to them that could like enlighten their life, and resurrect their life, for them to just be better people. Because everybody, like I believe that everybody could be better people, and then better people to other people. So if we could like just keep building people up, instead of tearing them down, look how life would look what how life could look like if we do those things. Like everybody will be happy. But the fact that we're living in a world where there's like hate, um negativity, it's just crazy. But it's our job to like just shine a light to the people that really need that light. And that's what we're all about, even as individuals.
Yeah. And again, George, I can hear the emotion in your voice. My chest is literally jumping right now listening to you say this. GA, I want to pull it to you, bro. As a father, as a member of this organization, and as George being your brother in the media organization, how do you feel hearing this?
Yeah. First of all, George, I just wanted to commend you, man, for just for everything you had done for the team, for the community, for how far you have come along. I am proud of you. And it was nice meeting you yesterday for the first time, man. Even though first I didn't know it was you, man, but it was fun. And I had a few questions for you, George. First, I wanted to ask you, going forward, how do you how is this gonna impact your life now? Just knowing that what you saw yesterday, and how did you feel on your ride home yesterday, going home?
Well, to answer your first question, how would I for just going to your first question, just being that positive person, just having the will to like help other people, because it's not about us, it's about other people around us that really need the help. Because now that we're going into like the holiday season, that's big, because holiday season is all about giving. And as the organization, we have a lot to give. And then what Don said, the more we give, the more we get back, if not more. So we got to remember. So for me, I got to remember that, because you never know if I could run into the situation as them, because then I would need that positive light that I need to like keep going. And then for the second question is I just felt I was just really humble, and I was just thinking back about like what what I could um just yeah just being emotional throughout that drive home, just listening to like soft music, like just mellow music on the way home, that could like just relieve my stress. Because it's like when I say stress, meaning that I feel for those people that had to go through those types of struggles. So for me, I just want to be a better person at the end of the day.
Definitely. Thank you, George, for answering my questions.
No problem.
Great.
No problem.
Coach, I know you got something for George. What kind of advice? What do you want to tell him?
I first thank you for showing your emotions in your talk. You know, often as men, you know, we're taught not to show emotion, not to share emotion, but that's a lie. The strongest men are the ones that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, that was great. And then the fact that you didn't just leave, you thought about it on the way home. You didn't just turn the radio on and change my thoughts or change your thoughts and lift you back up. You stayed in it and kept thinking about it. So that's definitely something that you could build on and keep on going and build as a man. And it's going to help you in future relationships, future jobs, future everything, whatever that may be. And just so you all know, there is a, speaking about Skid Row, there is a basketball, not ministry, but a basketball organization that they create games and leagues for the guys in Skid Row.
Cool.
You know, during COVID, it's for sure, but I got connected to one of the guys from the BBL that's out there, and he's part of that organization. That's where he came from. Mm-hmm. So basketball could change people's lives, and that's what we're all using it for. You know, not for our own gain, but that's something that there's a cool documentary on that Skid Row ministry. So you guys should check it out if you want. Also, there's the Dream Center that does a ton for the military and homeless. Justin Turner from the Dodgers is a big component of that. So there's different organizations throughout the year that you guys could team up with and think about helping out because they always have stuff going on. Just encourage everybody. You know, you felt these emotions, right? And you felt these experiences and you embraced them that day. Now I encourage you to pray about what does that look like going forward? How can you help? Or where do you need to help? Where do you need to be? What's the next step? Not just waiting for the next Teach One, Reach One, or the next Oxford community event, but what can you do individually to do? You know, pray about that. Really ask God, what do you want us to do? What do you want me as a human being to do? Or, you know, GA with your kid and your wife, and Ricky with your son, George with your people, your family. What can you do as a family to really bless someone else, especially during the holiday season? George said it on point, you know, like where it's good to give, you know, it's the season of giving, but this is usually when people hurt the most is during holiday season, you know, especially the ones that don't have a family or can't give their kids, you know, a gift for the holidays. So this is, you know, this is the world's happy time, but for the people that need it the most, this is the saddest time of the year is holiday season. You know, it's Christmas, and you can't celebrate it correctly. You can't give anything to your son or your daughter. So this is the time to really dive in to see what you could do and what you can do. It could be financially, it could be giving up your time, it could be just praying for somebody that you don't even know. There's many ways to do it. So just strongly encourage you guys to build off of this and use all these emotions that you guys are sharing and you guys have to keep going to the next step. Not just rely on somebody else to run an event, because that's easy to do. You know, that's often easy. Excuse, oh, there's nothing going on, or I don't know how to do it. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can do. So just pray about it and see what God wants you to do. And whatever he says, you do. No questions asked. But you guys are on the right track. I'm proud of all y'all. Not just doing it, but sharing it. And keep sharing it, not just here. Share it on your social media. Share your personal words, because you hear George and GA. You know, Ricky's shared a lot yesterday, but George and GA emotions here. If you share that on Instagram and social media, you don't know who's going to hear that. You don't know who will be affected by that and will encourage them to help. You know, I'll share real quick. You know, I shared one of the, we had a bad night at P4E one night this year. And I was frustrated. So I went on Instagram and shared my frustrations, to be real, to be vulnerable, right? And God took it a different way than what I thought it was going to be. And he took it where, you know, I really wanted to share that God loves you. God, you know, no matter what, you are loved. I love you. No matter who's hearing this, God is love and I love you. I woke up the next morning and I got an Instagram message. I had an Instagram message. So I looked at it. It was a guy I've never met. He's friends with somebody that follows us. And he started following us. And he listened to the message that I shared. He's a recovering drug addict. And for 6 years being clean. And he was struggling. And he felt like he needed to do drugs again. And he was about to pick up the phone to call his old dealer to see if he could get some meth. But he heard the message that I shared. And what he took, God loved him. And that he put down the phone and hasn't used since. You know, I'm only sharing, I'm not bragging. I'm only sharing because I shared my heart. And, you know, this guy took it, it was meant for him, no one else. I thought it was meant for me. It was meant for him, and he stopped using you. So you don't know who's going to hear you, who you're going to affect, but you're going to affect somebody. You're going to change somebody. So strongly encouraged. I love you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Keep on building. Keep on going. You know, don't let the ball stop today.
You guys,
Hey.
I mean, G, you had something. Go ahead.
I just want to thank Coach for the words of advice and words of encouragement to keep on doing better, you know, because you can only get better from here, you know. And me personally, I just want to build on that. You know, I definitely want to be a better person, better man, not only for myself, but for my family. And I definitely appreciate those words, Coach.
George, do you have anything you want to say to Coach before we get off?
Hey, Coach, I just want to thank you on like, you know, just meeting you and like just like, you know, just being part of this Orcas organization, knowing that I have like somebody older that I could lean on, like whenever, you know, like if I'm struggling or like just somebody to talk to. Like I could tell that you're one of those positive people that I could tell you about anything, you know, and also Ricky and G and Farhan, you know, like just like just joining this cast, like I knew that you guys were like great people to work with. And God just blessed me with brothers like you guys. Like, you know, we're not just an organization, we're a family.
He blessed all of us, man.
You know?
We're all
So
supposed
like,
man.
yeah, so you guys are like brothers and we will always be brothers. And I just can't wait for our futures endeavors to grow as an organization.
Yeah.
So and then it was great meeting you last week, Don, over at the P4E tournament. You know, like you're just that great person to talk to. Even when Ricky interviewed you last week, you know, I knew that I would have somebody positive in my corner, and I'm just happy about that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like almost in tears over here because what Coach was saying, I had so many flashbacks while he was saying these things, stuff that I've gone through, stuff that my friends have gone through. I've seen that drug addict friend living in my house get off of it because of me or a friend just reaching out to them. I've also, on the air at KCal Rocks, George G knows this story. All I did, I share the suicide hotline every day. Every time I'm on air, I share the suicide hotline, and we saved a life. She messages on text message, I had the gun in my hand. I was ready to end it. I heard you. I put it down. It's not me bragging. It's being blessed to have the ability that God gave us to do that, just like Coach said. And from my standpoint, Coach, you're a great mentor. I met you a long time ago, and I knew you were a cool guy when we were at Sports Collective. And for the weirdest reason, you didn't pick on me, you know. Freaking Ferran was picking on me, Fredo was picking on me, even Buddha picked on me a little bit, and then he stopped. But you were always respectful to me, and I really appreciate that because I was so scared going into that. I was this kid just barely out of school, you know, jumping into the radio industry, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was super nervous. And you just made me feel comfortable, and just in the Zoomcast, same thing. You're like our mentor. You're like our big brother. We absolutely love you, and we absolutely appreciate you.
No, I appreciate that. And, you know, just it's something that we need to do. You know, we're all brothers. And if we've known each other years or days, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, we're all human beings and we deserve that respect. And, you know, faith-based and with Christianity, you know, God loved us. So, like, we can't hate anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hate anybody. You know, like, there's joking and there's, you know, messing around with people and joking, play like, you know, people play with George a lot.
We love you, George.
You only do it because
Yeah, I know.
you really do like that person. And you can really care for that. And you know that person can take it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways to play and there's a time and a place to play. You know, when everybody, because there's a thin line between joking and bullying. And often we cross that line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I dropped the ball. You know, like I don't have time, and I don't care for bullying is one of the worst things in the world. And I despise it, and it's something that needs to just stop. And playing could often cross the line, so just being aware of that. And I've been on both sides. As a white guy playing basketball, you are that guy on the court. Higher competition, the more you are, and you got to earn the respect. Once you earn the respect, then it becomes playing.
Mm-hmm.
And toughened me, but it also woke my eyes to like advising guys of the same thing. You know, Buddha was homeless two times in the last 2 years, and it breaks my heart because there ain't a nicer guy in the world than Buddha. And he'd do anything for everybody. One reason he cared for people so much, he didn't speak up and didn't care. I got on the first time. I was mad. I was literally mad, and I told him. He was homeless for 3 months and didn't tell me. You know, but it was a good learning experience. And, you know, it came from a good place because he didn't want anything from anybody but any handouts. I respect that, but also we as humans need to reach out and allow others to help.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't take advantage of it, right? You know, and Buddha's come in and now he has this huge, he shares all the time. Like you got to force him to stop sharing now.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. And he's in Arizona playing in a tournament right now. And, you know, he's sharing with a different squad that he usually doesn't play with. And Drew, you know, this was an emotional weekend for me because, you know, me and Drew immediately got connected. And it became a big brother situation, little brother, and he signed his first contract here at the house.
That was awesome.
Shout out to Drewski, man.
Yeah.
Right? And Adam signed with an agent for the first time.
Wow.
Dude's 3 different countries and a double major all at the time of, and his own brand by the time of 25.
That's awesome.
Oh wow. Okay.
There's no 25-year-old ever that I've ever heard that could do that. Got 3 professional contracts, double major, brand, and still looking for more at 25. That's crazy. But now he's got an agent, and now he's going to get even bigger deals. Bigger cities. And it was just amazing for those 2 guys that have built a best friend. They became best friends since they've been involved with us. And it's just been really cool to see and make the Orcas moving their season to fall 21 was hurtful. It hurt. You know, and I was hurt that we can't see this team play as one because we're going to be a beast. But it's been a blessing in disguise because this team has been able to grow. You guys have all grown because we're not playing. You've had to look, you're better as a media team because you've had to change on the fly. We would not have this contract if we played for the Orcas. He wouldn't even be searching for it. The Orca season was going to start in 1 month. You know, the ABA season starts November 7th, the first games. He went outside. Adam went outside with an agent.
Yep.
So there's a couple other guys that are trying to. Marquise may go to Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
If he knew we were going to have a team this season, he may not have that opportunity because you have this already established group, right? So, you know, God works in mysterious ways. There's only one player that showed up, but, you know, like he said, there's a plan for 8 players. If there's 8 players, you probably don't see that camp. You probably don't end up at that encampment, right? Because there's too many people doing, you have a set plan, assume only one player and you guys showed up. Now it adjusted and allowed to go on the fly. You know, you start with a plan, but you don't stick to the plan.
Yep.
You move on. So, you know, everything's a learning experience. Everybody could grow from everything. There is no, like this shirt, this on the back of this hoodie, it says "Take no L's." That's the slogan for this company. There is no L's unless there's only L's if you don't learn from something. There's no losses. We lost in the championship, but we learned a lot. George was there, right?
And reported the whole thing.
You know, Drew learned from stuff. Adam learned. Buddha learned. You know, some of it was personal, like I'm not in shape enough. Some of it was mental. Some of it was as a team. We learned who we could rock with and who we can't.
Yep.
2 guys that didn't show up, we ain't gonna rock with them anymore. We're gonna love them and I'll help them get on the team, but not our team. You know, but there's also 2 guys that are locked in now. You know, that weren't locked in before. They were gonna have to try out and show me something and show the team over. But now they're locked in. Now they're part of the core, and we learned from it. We didn't lose that championship. We gained.
Yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to close off there, you guys. Again, this thing was all about taking care of people who are human. You just got to remember everybody's human, regardless if you like them or don't like them, whether they're the same political party as you, same sex as you, same religion, what the heck ever. Just treat everybody with the same respect that you would like to be treated with. And I think you guys did more than that. And I absolutely love all of you guys for that. Also, we're talking about family. We've got a new family member that we're going to be bringing in next week, Jamani Spencer. Me and George were lucky enough to get to see this kid in action. He reminds me of a young Allen Iverson. Like, I am super excited to see this kid. He's very dedicated. He's a hard player, and he's a cool kid. I've been talking to him for a while now. He's a super cool kid, and I can't wait for you guys to get the chance. Coach knows him, but G, you, and hopefully Doc, when she returns, we'll get a chance to get to see this kid. We get to know this kid. It's going to be fun for episode 22. It's going to be called a hidden gem because he is just that. And we're going to leave it at that. I want to thank Coach for his amazing speeches he gave to us. Just brought me to tears, yo. So thank you, Coach. G, I saw a side of you yesterday I'd never seen before. I'm so proud of you. I love you like a little brother, man. George, same thing. Just your words today also almost brought me to tears. This is by far the most emotional show we've ever done. And gentlemen, you guys didn't hold back. And as a man, I thank you guys for that, for being so real. You guys are amazing. Remember, God's blessing you with the ability and the voice and the platform to change lives. Make sure we keep doing that, and we'll keep moving forward. All right, guys, on behalf of Orcas Media, I'm Dubl R. We got George. We got GA. We got the coach. We had Ferran. Kenny was here earlier. We also want to thank Art and the Love Thy Neighbor Foundation, the Teach One, Reach One Foundation, GM James. Thank you to all of them. Want to keep praying for Doc. Hopefully we'll get to see her really soon. Doc, we love you. Go Orcas. Peace out.
Peace.